forming of a mountain or a canyon, right? Those plates are coming together and things are going to go up, they're going to go down, they're going to go side, the things are going to go. This is Whims, Aphoria, and I'm your host, Olivia Clack. Welcome. I'm so excited. It's my first podcast. I have butterflies, but I'm telling myself I'm not nervous. I'm telling myself I'm excited because your body doesn't know the difference. So, we have a lot on the docket today. This is an astrological, comical, tarot-ridden experience, and I'm so excited to launch this thing. It's been a lot of hard work, and I'm really grateful to everybody who has helped me do it, and it's just so cool to see so many artistic creatives come together to do their thing and vibe with each other, and that's exactly what I want this podcast to be. It's a place for creatives, for joy seekers, for whimlings, euphorians, gremlins alike. So you've probably heard the saying, no man is an island, but do you know the poem it comes from? We're going to start off the podcast with this poem by John Donne. Here it goes. No man is an island, entire of itself. Every man is a piece of the continent, a part of the main. If a clod be washed away by the sea, Europe is the less, as well as if a promontory were, as well as if a manor of thy friends, or of thine own were. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind, and therefore never send to know for whom the bell tolls. It tolls for thee. I love this ending, this last stanza. Any man's death diminishes me, because I am involved in mankind. So when a creative stops being creative, when they give up on their dreams or they pivot away from their dreams because they're too scary, or a project because it's too scary, right? It's like a death almost. And we can feel it, this slowing of our flow, this misalignment happening. So the name of the podcast today is New Moon Revival. And when we get back into that flow state, when we get back on our path that we know we're supposed to be on, but for whatever reason we got off of it, is an inspiration to those people around us. And it is a rebirth, a revival, when we come back into our creative practice, when we decide to go for our dream again, right? Someone really wise once told me, when you are your authentic self, or you decide that you're going to go for the thing that you've always wanted to go for, regardless of what your inner critic, or maybe you have a real critic, regardless of what they say, it allows other people to be on their path, right? And that's that whole idea of no man is an island. And when we talk about a new moon in Gemini, that transit really is an embodiment of this idea, because Gemini is the communicator. They can see all sides of something. They're almost like the jester, in my opinion, and they will bring out of us this ideas that maybe we didn't know we had or hadn't pondered yet, but it's like the play and conversation that allows us to discover and stay curious. And the card I pulled for New Moon in Gemini is the Four of Wands, which is a beautiful card. Those of you that don't know, there's a couple cards in the deck that really just sound like harmony, feel like harmony, bliss, joy. The wand suit, the way I think about wands is they're our wands, and our wands are gifts, opportunities, ideas, parts of our personality, things that we don't necessarily like work to have. We just have them because God, higher self, whatever, we have these things. Four of Wands really tells us that it's going to be a season during this new moon in Gemini of getting receiving opportunities to display and showcase our gifts. It's really great, and it's a really positive omen. Four of Wands is great, but it's minor arcana. It can be fleeting, so we have to make sure that we're appreciating the Four of Wands moments, but we're not too attached or detached, one or the other. It's present moment living. When Four of Wands happens, you know, like life has changed, it's going to change. We're not always going to be in a Four of Wands moment. It could be a Four of Wands morning and then like a Three of Swords afternoon, you know what I mean? It can change really fast. But through the new moon in Gemini, the 3 days, the day before, the day of, and the day after, there's going to be a lot of opportunities. So you just want to make sure that you're open to that, right? And you never know what could happen. You could have a really tough, challenging, like I said, morning, and then by the afternoon, because of that morning, you find yourself in a situation where you're living like a Four of Wands moment. I imagine they're going to be social, though, with the Gemini aspect of this new moon. Next up, we're going to talk about Neptune. Neptune has been in Aries for a moment, and as it stays in Aries, there's two planets that are going to make interesting aspects to Neptune and Aries in the next 2 weeks. So on the 17th, Venus in Leo. Venus is really quick, but it's going to make a trine to Neptune in Aries on the 17th. What does this mean? Well, Neptune, the dreamer, it's really an important planet to me as a creative, because it's kind of like that, it represents like that state between being awake and being asleep, and that dream-like state. And as a creative, obviously, it's kind of like we live in this flow, this ambiguity. It being in Aries, I think, really speaks to an opportunity to take that dream state idea and bring it into reality. Like, there's a real, I feel, manifestation power in this Neptune and Aries moment. Because Aries is the planet of action, discipline, strategy, right? And then we have a focus also, and then we have Neptune, this like kind of like almost like an opposite idea. And then on top of it, this trine between Venus and Leo, I mean, it's like Venus and Leo to me is the embodiment of beauty. So together we can really be exploring beauty and the subconscious and bringing that into our reality, right? Henry David Thoreau, put yourself in the way of beauty. I feel like that is, if I could put it down into what you want to do around the days of June 17th, it would be put yourself in the way of beauty with this trine between Venus and Leo and Neptune and Aries. And I think in that time we're going to find ourselves really acting strongly and bringing to life and manifesting these works that really surprise us and engage us, and we'll find it easier to share our work with others. And really, after setting those intentions with the new moon in Gemini, it's going to be really, really exciting time, this experience from June 14th up into June 17th. And there's like a whole orb around Venus, right? It's not just June 17th. We're going to feel it a little bit before and a little bit after. So this first week after the new moon, really make sure you're putting yourself in a position to share your work. And if there's some resistance there, it's a great time to work on that and just be okay with whatever is. The card I pulled for this is the Justice card in reverse. And man, when I talk about maybe having resistance, I kind of pulling this card as a real affirmation that might happen. Justice to me is all about how we show up in our relationships mentally, because the Justice card has a sword on it usually, and then the balancing of the spheres. Justice is about like, are we okay with what is? Are we, or did we come into it with expectations? And like, what is in our relationships? How people react, don't react, what it may be. Our resistance to reality really can show up with the Justice card reversed. And so it was just a good time to work through that, because what is exactly what needs to be stuff. But just acknowledge that if you're someone that has that side of you that has expectations in your relationships, or can kind of get in your head around your relationships, or even your art, like this might be a little tricky, but that's okay. It's coming up to go. It's coming up to go, right? Chiron entering Taurus. This is a really big transit. Taurus has been in Aries for about 8 years. Chiron takes a whole 150 years to make it around all of the signs. It spends most of its time, not most of its time, it spends a longer period of time in Aries and Taurus. So some planets it zips through, like Libra, 2 years, you know? But in Aries, it's been there for about 8 years, and now it's moving into Taurus. Last time Chiron was in Taurus was late 70s, early 80s. They experienced, because I wasn't there, they experienced 2 economic downturns and then come-ups, and Chiron is the wounded healer, right? So we experience challenges, wounds. Those wounds come up, they feel a little raw, and Chiron and Taurus is typically a wound around scarcity. So it's a really big transit, Chiron entering Taurus. These wounds of scarcity coming up. So I pulled a card for that, and I pulled Queen of Wands. Remember I said wands are like our God gifts. I feel like it's what no one can take from us, right? And when we think about scarcity mindset and like not having enough and someone taking what we have or it going, the Queen of Wands can be a real positive, inspirational image to look at. A good journal activity is, who is your Queen of Wands? What are your gifts? You know, the Queen of Wands can always kind of ground us in the reality of we are here, we are safe. We were meant to be here, right? We have purpose. We have these, our higher self demonstrates these abilities that I didn't even have to work for. Like, I was just born this way. I came out the womb singing, you know, like whatever it is for you. Can we hold space for that as we experience kind of this shift from Chiron and Aries, which we've gotten really good at. We've really figured out our maybe some discipline stuff, some action-oriented behaviors, acting our way into right thinking, and now we're moving into, let's look at this side of the wounded shadow self, of the scarcity mindset. Okay. Lastly, I want to talk about the Sun in Cancer making a square to Neptune and Aries again. So remember, squares, people are like, oh my god, it's squaring, it's gonna be problematic. I find that squares move me into action more than trines, more than sextiles, more than all those like little pretty aspects that everyone's like, oh, it's so auspicious, it's so lucky. Like those days are, you know, I do feel things more working out on the emotional sphere during a trine, during a sextile. A square is like action, like things are gonna change because iron sharpens iron. Things are gonna like it's like the forming of a mountain or a canyon, right? Those plates are coming together and things are gonna go up, they're gonna go down, they're gonna go south, things are gonna go, like things are gonna change, right? With a square, it's really not a bad thing like people think. There are no bad aspects. I feel like on the day that I think Mars was squaring Pluto last month, I was changed that day. Like, it was good. Like, I was changed. It was crazy. So it's like not a bad thing. But the Sun is in Cancer. Love Cancer season. I'm a Cancer rising. I'm going to eventually tell you all about my birth chart through this experience, I'm sure. But I'm a Cancer rising. It's going to be a little jolt, like a hiccup in our confidence, right? One, we have to deal with like moving into Cancer season and like warming up to that energy because it's going to be different than Gemini season, obviously. And then it's going to square, you know, Neptune and Aries, and it's, You know that meme that's like, these are your guides, like taking you where you need to go, and it's like this little girl on like the teacup at Disneyland, and she's like, just like that. That might be what it feels like those days. It might feel like that. We're going in from an air sign to a water sign. Get up to speed, baby. Get up to speed with it. Like, we're going into an emotional landscape. I don't know. Let's look at the cards I pulled. Okay. The Hierophant reversed. 8 of Wands reversed. Okay. The Hierophant reversed. Okay, you are your inner guide, right? Stop asking other people, what should I do about this? What should I do about that? Stop asking other people. Go within and then go be with other people and maybe talk about something else other than yourself. Maybe just look at the sky together, right? It's not saying hibernate. But the answers are inside. And you're like looking to have someone constantly tell you what to do. You're just reiterating this idea that you don't know what to do. And sure, everything's nuanced. There's times where like you've thought about something a lot and you need like a second opinion. That's not what I'm talking about. It's not like an all or nothing thing. But this transit particularly talks to a little hiccup in our confidence. And what's important, that what we take away from this experience isn't that we shouldn't have confidence in ourselves, but it's like, how can I dig deep and really trust that what I think is best is what's best? The answers are inside us, okay? So that, and then 8 of Wands. Trust the process. Shoot for the stars, and if you miss, you land on the moon, right? Imagine you literally are shooting for the stars, and you've missed the star, and you're coming down, you're like, oh God, I missed the stars. And then you land on the moon. And the 8 of Wands is like those 8 wands like coming down fast, right? And like I said, it's going to be a little hiccup in our experience. Well, it's going to be okay. Like, you're going to land softly somewhere. Trust that. Nurture yourself through the process. Take care of yourself. Be a little crab for a while, little Cancer crab, and you'll be okay. Okay. You'll be okay, okay? All right, so I think we are done here. I think we've covered it all. I hope I see you back on here for the full moon in Capricorn, where we'll talk about the next 2 weeks leading up to that, the following new moon. So have a great moon cycle, and it was really great to do this. I hope it goes well.